Hey Jared, sorry for getting this to you so late. What I want to do is just go a quick overview on how Google ranks your site, and then once you know how the algorithm works, then we can use that to your advantage to increase the traffic, get you up to the top of the search results, so that way you're the first click and the first call anytime anybody's searching for it. So I pulled up the website just to take a look at it. It's good that you got all the click to call, the contact is right here. When Google is looking at your site, it's going to rank it in the search results based on two factors. The first is going to be the content. So it doesn't really care much about the layout or the pictures. Google is a computer, so the first thing it's going to do is just count all the words of text on the page. It generally likes to see about 1,000 to 1,500 words per page. It equates to more words on the page, the meaning that you're more of an expert in that field. So while it's counting all the words, it's also looking for keywords that people will be searching to type into Google, which is usually going to be the service that you provide and then any kind of area that you provide it in. Now, this is also where the number of words on the page comes into play, because you're only allowed to have one keyword for every about 100 to 150 words of text. So the more words you want to be able to be found and searched for means the more text we have to add to the web page itself. The second thing that they're going to use to rank your website is what's called the authority, which is basically like a popularity contest. The way Google determines your popularity is when you have what's called citations, which are when your name, address, and phone number are listed in directories such as Yelp, Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau, things like that. Those are usually all free to get into. You just got to find them and then take the time to register and input all your information exactly as it's shown in Google Maps. The other part of that authority are other websites that refer back to your website. They basically act as an endorsement that Google uses to build trust, like others vouching for you. Kind of like customer reviews, where if you had 1 versus 100 or 1,000 customer reviews, it would make customers think that you do good service. It's the same thing with Google, except with other web pages. So to see how this works, if we were to search for Locksmith in Rhode Island, the first thing you're going to see is this map pack. This is actually pretty important to try to show up in, because statistically speaking, almost half, about 40% of people will just click on one of these top 3 because they're at the top of the page. Now, this is also free to get inside of. You just need to fill out the Google My Business profile, which is inside the Map app. So you can do it right from a smartphone. What you want to do is when you fill this out, you want to fill out as much information in that as possible. So your services that you offer, the area that you offer it in, and even the hours of operation. Everything you possibly can. You want to fill it out as much as possible. Then you want to be adding photos that are geotagged inside of your service area. You want to get all those reviews uploaded. And then you want to try to get as many of those citations, those directories with your name, address, and phone number. You want to get more of those directory listings than anybody else in this list, so you can get right to the top. Then underneath that is what we call the organic search results. This is where the higher the authority or the more trust Google has in your site, the higher up on the list that you're going to rank. So to demonstrate this, I took your website and I put it into this tool that I pay for. It's called Ahrefs. And what it does is it shows me what Google sees when it crawls your website for both the content and all the authority, the other websites that are referring back to yours. It uses that information just to create a scale of 1 to 100 on the strength and the trust of your homepage and your domain as a whole. So to increase the authority, we want to get as many of those citations, those directories as possible, and then as many other websites referring back to yours. So for instance, if there was a blog post or a news organization, a news outlet webpage, and they did a story on like the top 10 locksmiths in Rhode Island, if inside that story they mentioned your name and then it had a clickable link where the reader could click on it and it would take them to your website, that would be considered one backlink from one referring domain or one referring website. So for comparison, if we just take, I found people that are in the map pack and then also that came up first in the organic listings, we can see how many websites they have referring back to them and also the content, the number of keywords that are being found on their page. So it's not a huge gap to fill. We can definitely make up a lot of these. But one of the big points is it's not just the quality of the website. It's not just the quantity of the websites. It's a lot to do with the quality. So for instance, you wouldn't want to have Pizza Hut linking back to your website because Google knows that you're a locksmith and you're not making pizzas. That really wouldn't add anything to the authority of your site. Now, if we look at the keywords that are being found on your page, you can see all the words that people search that Google is finding on your page, and then also the volume, the number of times per month that they're being searched through Google. So this is where we would want to do a lot of research and find all the top keywords with as much volume as possible and make sure that those are being added to your site and they're being found. And then we probably have to add some more content so that you could fit them all in. So just for example, 150 people a month are searching for locksmith in Rhode Island. If you were in the number one position instead of 27th, you'd be getting those clicks. So, conservatively speaking, 10% of those people that view your website will actually give you a call. So that's 15 calls. And maybe only a third of those actually get something done. So we can be real conservative and we'll just say like that's 5 extra jobs per month. Now that's just on one keyword. So I don't know what the markup is, and I know there's multiple different services, but imagine if we can get 5 jobs per month for just one keyword and then get a bunch of those keywords ranked at the top of Google. It can definitely help add to the bottom line and create a lot of revenue for the business. So I know this is a lot of information, so you can definitely use it to help scale your online presence over the competition. Or if you want, we can talk about some goals that you guys want as a business, and I can do some research to figure out how you can reach those. Just let me know if this was useful. If you have any more questions, you want me to go in more detail, you know how to get in touch with me. I appreciate your time.